Hello, and welcome to our conversation about the penultimate, love that word, episode of She-Hulk. This is Bailey. We've got Kim joining us. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We are going to get into it here with spoilers for episode 8 of She-Hulk. It's the Daredevil episode, but they promoted that beforehand. So if you haven't seen that episode, you should go check it out. But we're going to talk about it now. 3, 2, 1, full spoilers for She-Hulk episode 8, which was called, of course, Ribbit and Rip It, which is Matt Murdock's new catchphrase.
It is the best catchphrase we've heard so far in the MCU, and it's not even close.
It's a pretty great one. I really liked when, I forget his name, but Jen's boss repeated that catchphrase as well. Kim, what did you think of the long-awaited appearance of Mr. Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Daredevil, and this episode in general?
Well, first of all, as we have become accustomed to, I'm going to showcase my cocktail for this week.
Yes!
How do
my
I
favorite
forget
part.
to set you up for that? I apologize.
It's my favorite part of every week. You'll get them next time, champ.
I won't be here
It's
next
okay.
week.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry to Madison this week because I've gone off list, and you won't be surprised to learn I've gone for an appletini.
Yeah!
Nice.
It's Matt Murdock's drink of choice when he's wooing the ladies.
Yes.
Now, normally when I see an appletini, it's Hulk green, and you've opted not to do that brand coordination.
Well, mine's all natural, baby.
Oh.
I feel like yours looks kind of golden, like Matt's new suit, so it represents it all.
It's beautiful. I don't like the gold of Matt's suit, so
Oh, you don't?
I don't. I think it looks bad. I'm really sorry.
We'll discuss the suit
Okay.
in a bit. But Kim, what did you think of the episode?
Episode. Well, I thought it was an improvement on last week's episode, and from the recap from what we've seen so far previously on. I was really excited as to what might be revealed. We're still feeling a little bit frustrated, I think, that we don't know who the main villain is.
Hulk
that will
King.
come next. Yeah. Yes, Hulk King.
Yeah.
Yes. If there is one. Jen hints at a Red Hulk coming, which may or may not happen. And, either way, that's quite a nice nod to Thunderbolt Ross, who we never saw in the MCU in that guise, but from the comics, personified Red Hulk. We called it that Matt and Jen would get it on, and I loved that she was just like, I'm not bothered about dating this guy. He's
in town. We get along.
And he was the one that did the walk of shame. Cool. Although I'm not sure if there's a lot of chemistry that I'm feeling there, and it took her telling us to the camera that was the case. In case we didn't catch it. But that's fine. Whatever two grown adults want to do, whether they fancy each other or not, is not for me to judge. And I thought it neatly brought this week, it really neatly brought a legal case together with Daredevil's appearance. And it didn't feel forced bringing in this, kind of superhero / villain of the week into it all. It all knitted together nicely. But I was annoyed at Daredevil's mansplanation of how Jen should reconcile her two personas.
Bailey, what did you think?
I have many points of agreement with Kim here. I think that they were cute together, but I wasn't necessarily picking up a sexual chemistry. I am so excited that they effed this week.
There you go.
Is that nailed it? I'm glad that Jen got it on with someone who didn't then show revenge porn of her at a gala. Cinematically shot revenge porn. This is like one of my small pet peeves in things, is when something is filmed on canonically a non-cinematic camera, whether it's they're on a Skype call together in this instance, filming, bed stuff and whatever. But then you see it and it's beautiful, and they filmed it with their best camera they got in the production studio. And I just, for my sake, I wish they would stop doing that. It takes me out of it every time.
It's like Cobra Kai. A million shows have done this, but Cobra Kai did the thing of we're supposed to be watching in-universe footage of a previous fight, but it's just footage from Cobra Kai. So it's like really well done. It's
Yeah,
like,
I'm
wow,
like,
they
how
really
do you
shot
have
that fight
different
well.
angles on this? Like, I thought it was just one camera propped up against somewhere. But like, let's see. I wrote down some notes because I always forget because I watch it the night it comes out and then I rewatch it. And today I had to hurry on my makeup for reasons.
There was some stuff going on.
So I didn't have time. Let's see. I don't like his helmet. I wrote that like 4 times. I really don't like the yellow of his helmet. I know it's more comics accurate. I don't like it. I think it looks bad. But I love her new outfit. I'm glad we got to see it finally.
Yeah, we got everyone in the.
pleasure.
Yeah, I thought it was a good like modernization of the like comics like onesie she wears.
Right.
Where it has sort of the same general like aesthetique, but makes more sense for like modern sensibilities. I liked it.
Overall, I did love this episode. The beginning, I was a little shaky just because, like, the leapfrog stuff, like, I get it, he's supposed to be silly, but it was just like, I don't know if this is leaning in too much on that. But I really thought, like, that Matt and Jen stuff was just handled really well. Like, yeah, like, I agree, Kim, it's like a natural way, like, with the court case and even him saying, like, oh, this is one of the ones I do for them to make, you know, a little more money to keep us afloat, was that this case even existed. I did like their chemistry, and then I just thought it was just like a fun, like, classic team up. Like, there was a classic team up, right? They had to fight first, and then and then they got along. I really dig the costume, even though I wouldn't want it to be his permanent costume, and I'm sure it's not. Like, I'm guessing maybe he'll wear it again in Echo, and then in his own show he'll get an all red one again. It's a fun little throwback.
I hate it.
And you know, and they made sure to get in. She got in some barbs there about
and they were all
ketchup and mustard.
correct. They were every single one of them was mean and accurate.
So you're saying this is not Luke Jacobson's best work?
No, I honestly don't think beyond the She-Hulk outfit, I don't think he was really crushing it for me today as a fashion designer.
Okay.
I didn't love the gala dress either. I said I would talk about it and I meant it. I didn't love the gala dress. She looked great, but why it looked a little matronly on her, I thought. Like, why does she need full sleeves? Show off those biceps, girl. You worked hard on them. I want to see them. Let's go.
You know, Luke, he had a lot going on. It was like he'd just gone through this court case.
That was the dress he was designing when she walked in.
True.
And it was the same cut. He was always envisioning those long, long sleeves. And I don't know why, Luke.
This show, you know, has sometimes gotten knocked for having like less than great action moments, even though it's obviously not an action-oriented show. But what did you think, Kim, of how they handled both Daredevil and She-Hulk, sort of their own showdown, and then when the two of them teamed up to take on 25 goons?
Yeah, I like the way that they'd really thought about each other's fight style, you know, and made it work together, or kind of not work together, if you like, because they're complete opposites, you know. And we got when Daredevil first started fighting, he had that trademark kind of contained space sequence where he took out five goons initially, which was great to see, and then she comes through the roof and takes another 5 out just with rubble.
Yes.
Which I love.
I love that moment, so much.
Yeah, that moment that we just saw then where she tosses the car as well, liked his exit down the building, and I was left wondering whether she's going to face a lawsuit now because of that damage to those cars.
It'd be a heck of a season finale.
I've mentioned before that it's so weird that in the comics, Damage Control's whole purpose is like insurance and dealing with like all the destruction left in the wake of superhero battles, but they're not that at all. They're just kind of evil government guys in the MCU.
Like cops.
Yeah,
but super
because
cops.
the actual use in the comics is a fun one. So now I feel like we need a different group to come in.
But I loved that, like, setting up the hallway fight, like you see a wall and then you see a wall, and then you see the ceiling and the floor, and you're like, oh my god, he's gonna do it, he's gonna beat up a bunch of people in a hallway, and then she just Kool-Aid Man's in from the ceiling, and it's so perfectly paced, and it was so funny, and it really got me. There were a few really funny moments this episode, I thought, too. Like, when Matt's like, he's lying. Don't ask how I know. And the judge is like, we all know he's lying.
Yes. That was really good.
It got me. I was tickled by that. I thought it was great.
when Daredevil in costume first shows up, and this was a clip they released yesterday. I didn't love, like, again, there's so much talk about the MCU and how fast they're trying to do turnaround and CGI and stuff. There was like a digital double used for him a couple times. It was like, but everything after that I really dug. And yeah, that hallway scene was great because we do get, like, he viciously beats them down with a club like good old Matt Murdock Daredevil is known for. So it didn't feel like, because some people were like, he won't be Daredevil. And yes, he was a lighter Daredevil and he joked a little more. But it's like, he beat the hell out of those guys.
He lost his virginity.
He was classic Daredevil. But then you also got, when you're teamed up with the She-Hulk, she can kind of take care of,
Yeah, subtlety is not really her specialty. You gotta work with the tank you got,
Yeah. And I thought that, they did that well. And they even I realized, I'm like, they even did the thing where they both, quote unquote, like, won a fight because he beat her in court. But then she, there's no way he could really beat her in a fight. She threw a car and took his mask off, She-Hulk wins.
The big clap.
Right.
Yeah, no, I was like, with this one, I was sort of like, it's sad that this was kind of the best in-court lawyering we've seen Jen do, because it was for such a shit client, and and she still wound up losing because like Matt made a better case, and he had to beat her in court with that, because otherwise he wouldn't be a very good lawyer either. And
I
for a female lawyer of the year, she sure doesn't win a lot of court cases.
No. I actually thought the opposite almost, because I felt like she didn't do enough prep for this, right? She walked in there thinking, this is easy. She obviously didn't speak to Leapfrog at all, or like examine the suit or anything, because a good lawyer, surely, says Kim with her lawyer's cap on, would have asked him what fuel he used initially.
Oh, absolutely. No argument there. I'm not saying she was being a good lawyer. I'm just saying this is the best we've seen her do.
Right. And I did like their back and forth was fun. Like the fact that they're like, talking quick, both going back and forth.
Yeah.
The law.
I love that
legality.
fast talk.
Legality. Yeah. And we should mention, by the way, I do feel a little bit like a prophet because yesterday I tweeted out, hey, it's weird that they have not mentioned the Sokovia Accords at all in the MCU. It was kind of a big deal. There was kind of a whole civil war about it. And then Matt Murdock's like, the Sokovia Accords, we got rid of those.
They saw your tweet and they threw that in as ADR last second.
Yes. Which I think I even said, like, I'm okay. Like, again, the 5-year time jump gives them a lot of leeway. And it gives you
how Todd studied abroad in Wakanda.
Todd studied abroad, but also the fact that they might be like, hey, things are pretty awful right now. We shouldn't be like policing the superheroes. They can do what they want. So I can deal with that. I'm just glad it was mentioned, because the more that we had like Damage Control going after Peter Parker and Miss Marvel, I was like, mention the Sokovia Accords. Kim, was this do you want more on the Sokovia Accords, or is it fine that Matt Murdock saying, we got rid of them?
No need for me. That's it. That's enough explanation.
Yeah.
I don't want a whole episode about admin. Or it's not Andor.
That's right.
I mean, I don't know. They did a whole episode about trademark law that I thought was pretty good. So maybe I do think it makes sense that of the 3 people thus far that we've seen be targeted by Damage Control, Matt Murdock is the one who brought up the Sokovia Accords, because I don't think 2 teenagers are gonna really be well versed in the legalese, even if it is about superhero stuff.
I mean, I was at first I was gonna argue with you, going, well, Peter was like on Tony's side in the Civil War, but I don't think he cared about the Sokovia Accords as much as like Tony.
Yeah,
Stark.
I'm not sure he read the document and made an informed decision. He just went with the guy who was like being his dad a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. This is fair. What do we think of Leapfrog in all his leaping glory here?
Well, I mean, he was a terrible client. She had to defend him. I appreciate that. What bothered me was, and this is very fandom actually, Eric, IRL, the whole putting jet fuel in his leg thrusters, whatever you want to call them. Now, I want to know what they actually run on, and what his suit is 900 degrees resistant, right? And I assume that's Fahrenheit because he's American.
It's Kelvin, actually.
Well, that might make a difference. It's Fahrenheit. I looked into this. There's not many fuels that burn at a temperature that low. So there are some jetpacks that run on steam. Maybe that's what was supposed to go in it. And I found a jetpack that runs on kerosene, but I think that is probably, well, it has engines. And I think that it probably has better protection than Leapfrog's outfit. So I don't know how good a superhero outfit designer or costume designer Luke Jacobson.
We're calling Luke into a lot of question here.
Both aesthetically and practically.
Well, he does say that Luke, I guess Luke demanded that look, because he does say like that green. He's like, you think you can get away with that green? So I felt like green. I felt like the rich client forced the look a little bit, but yeah.
Kim, you're right. That was very fandom of you to look up. I fully I understand. I agree with what you are saying. I immediately wanted to know what he was supposed to do with the suit, because it just, as it turns out, jet fuel can melt steel shoes. So I was just
I did appreciate a couple things about Leapfrog. Just what a douchebag he was, as we saw more and more. I felt he was very purposely picked for this episode, because he first appeared as a Daredevil villain in the comics, and kind of as a counterpoint for people who are like, Daredevil should always be gritty and dark, and that's it. When in the comics, he's had his goofy periods, and he fought people like Leapfrog, so why not have him in here?
Sure.
And then there was just a couple funny like background things I noticed, like the second time I watched it, when they obviously there was obvious things, like he had all the video games, but he had a Leapfrog signal. It was clearly like the bat signal, but like had some sort of frog logo in the background.
So good.
Yeah.
And I loved the big neon sign on his lair.
The
whole thing was so good.
Yeah, that was good. So like, yeah, he grew his douchebagness grew on me as the episode went. Oh, thank you, William. Now, there's the first appearance of Leapfrog.
Wow, that was fast.
Taking on Daredevil. I did send it to him earlier.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I take back my compliment.
But see,
Will.
It's there you go. It's canon. It goes back to the beginning. So I did enjoy that. And yeah, just that like he was just such a brat, right? And then one of you mentioned another brat, which is Todd.
Yes.
This guy.
Oh, this guy.
I laughed. You said there was a lot of funny stuff in this episode. I laughed a lot when Jen said, I don't like that, when he did the Wakanda Forever.
Oh, yeah, no, her delivery on that was so perfect. Just the immediate visceral no reaction.
Right. What do you think, Kim, of the use of Todd and his $1 million bid on a Wakanda war spear?
Oh, very funny. Yeah, he was very funny. Obviously, we all reacted the way She-Hulk did in that moment.
Yes.
What are you doing? Oh dear. But why is he back this week? That's my question. And is he going to play into the finale more? Is he involved in this? There's hints that he might be. We got in the previously on the clip of him calling her a specimen.
Yeah.
So is he involved in taking her blood? Is he going to become the new version of Hulk? Titania still hasn't reappeared, and she was she had actually been saying that she wasn't deserving, She-Hulk, of her powers, and that's something that comes back at the gala in the video that they play, or the voiceover. So are they both involved?
I think you have a very good point on Todd. Like, he is suspiciously present. Like,
yes.
Of all those bad dates, he keeps popping up again.
He does.
Yeah.
He does keep popping up. Ooh, I hate that guy.
Is he the Hulk King?
I don't know.
Both of them.
It would be wild if he clearly has funds. So like,
right.
if he has the money to buy $1 million stolen artifact, then he probably has the money to run that terrible website.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
I think so. Before we dig into this actual final sequence, I do want to say, like, because this was I thought a really good episode of the show that juggled a lot of elements, because it wasn't just good because it was the Daredevil episode, though he was a great part of it. It was fun court case dynamic and goofy villain and a fun guest star that people were really excited for. But also it did reminded me, I wish this show was a few episodes longer, because when they're at the gala and it's like, Mallory and Pug are there. I'm like, well, we should have had more time with these characters throughout the season.
When she was like, why is the episode still going? I'm like, big mood, girl. Like, yeah, exactly. This is what I've been saying. And again, I'm hoping that the things that, like elements of the 2 bottle episodes that happened right before this one come into play in the finale, because otherwise I'm going to be like, why did they do that when we needed more time with the main plot that they were doing?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think it was like, we almost had the whole show is obviously about her kind of embracing Jen and She-Hulk, but the last 3 episodes specifically were kind of all these pieces of the puzzle about like kind of coming to terms with everything about who she is. But
it was an introspective character piece, like the bear, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, do we need 3 episodes when we only have 10 episodes?
Well, yeah, I think it would have been better served if those were broken up with more Case of the Week episodes and kind of got more of that feel. Yeah, 9. Yeah.
Wait, you're not going to be here for the finale?
I know.
Oh my God!
On a boat. I'm on vacation next week. I won't be here for the finale.
Wow.
Let's dig in though a little bit more about the gala. What do you think, Kim, of what went down here, both with this sort of insulting award she got,
and what do you think of her dress?
Her dress, and what happened with the intelligentsia here.
I'm with you, Bailey, on the dress.
Thank you.
Because it was a bit kind of mumsy, I thought. But yeah, anyway, that aside, I think that, I mean, we were talking about Josh being the guy that stole her phone secrets and that she slept with and then ghosted her, being the worst villain to hit the MCU, and then he goes and revenge porns her. So, you know, I can't forgive it. I'm still reeling from what has happened in the MCU in this series, just based on Josh's behavior. But yeah, and the award, which we're seeing there, it was cruel of the announcer, the MC, to leave a pause after her name. Everyone has got it in for Jen. This was so cruel. Everyone else just tripped off his tongue, and he was like, did not do her any favors, bless her. And then the speeches. The first lady was happy, you know. She's just empowered.
Sure.
And then Mallory gave her response and similar to She-Hulk.
Yeah, I thought the speeches were very telling, right?
Yeah, very much. I mean, gosh, you just got to hand it to Josh, though. Excellent cinematographer.
Yes. He had a whole thing figured out there. What did you think, Bailey, of the award in general? And then, how Jen reacted to a really awful thing.
Yeah,
happening.
I thought the award being given to all of them condescendingly, and already condescendingly being Best Female Lawyer of the Year, was very funny. And again, it does seem like Jen was just included by default because we've never once seen her win a case. I wish she were a better lawyer, but I like her regardless, you know, even if she's not great at her day job. And I hate to say this. I do. I really hate to say this. My suspicion grows again about Mallory. I wish it didn't. I love her and I love their friendship and I want them to be friends, but it's kind of all, she was also at the gala. She was the one who didn't want to tell Jen about the intelligentsia site. She mentioned she very pointedly mentioned her husband and then didn't say who he was. And I'm just like, I want these to all just be coincidence. I don't want them to add up to her secretly being sabotaging Jen because I love, ladies helping ladies. They don't have to be bad guys against each other. They don't have to be arch nemesis. They can just be buddies. Mallory can just be a cool person who works with her. But I'm just worried that they're laying the groundwork for a betrayal there.
I mean, it could be. I think if that happens, it will make me even more bummed that we didn't get more time with Mallory. Either way, because it's so weird because she was literally in that one scene in the first half of the season, and then she came in more and she had more to do in the second half, but it feels like we should have a little more. Where are you guys right now on, because now as we go into the finale, you really made me think about Todd here, Kim, and I'm like, now I feel like next week Todd will be revealed as the face of intelligentsia, and either the leader won't be involved or the leader's a credit scene. That's where I'm now, because I do think like they will want it to be someone we know, at least one of them. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the leader is behind it still, but I don't think he'll feature heavily in the finale at all. We may get a reveal, or we may not find out till further down the line that he has connections with the intelligentsia. But I definitely think, and with the whole Wakanda spear thing, there's a superhero obsession he has here. He's a collector. So collecting her blood makes sense. I don't know. I do wonder if he's going to have injected himself with it and he becomes a kind of a Red Hulk. Maybe.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I mean, they want the blood for, they clearly want that blood to Hulk out someone, right?
Yeah, and you make a good point that he's a collector. I will say that the MCU, for the audience that it caters to, sure does seem to hate people who collect stuff. There are so many villains that their main motivation is collecting things.
We do need good collector representation as a collector.
You need a collector superhero to like counter all of this negative representation, because it's starting to look like some real disdain for the fans, Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel, do you want me to buy the Funko Pops or not? Make up your mind.
There'll be a Funko Pop of an evil collector. It's very circular. Yeah, I thought the end was very well done with like Jen understandably losing it. Look, there she is, smashing, not in the good way she did with Matt. Like this losing it here. I did think it's a little funny that this guy just gets to run away, but I do understand that she's like an out of control Hulk, and they're a little worried that she might try to kill everyone in the moment. But yeah, I thought this, and I admired the restraint in this moment. She looks at the camera, but she doesn't quip. It's like they let it be like a heavy moment here. What'd you think of like kind of going out on
Fleabag energy?
Yeah, some drama here.
Yeah, I mean, when she looked round then, I didn't clock that she was looking at the camera. It felt like she was looking just past it at somebody that she maybe recognized or was surprised by. So, and then I thought, yeah, that's what's happened, and that's what will be revealed next week. But who knows?
That would be interesting. I thought she was looking at us. Maybe she recognized us, Kim. Maybe she saw us through the TV.
Well, no, this was the most...
like, I love your weekly reviews.
And your drinks. This was the most personal she got with us. She's like, oh, you're still here? Like, she was, like, really digging in with the relationship we have with her.
Yeah, sort of, and I wish you hadn't seen that moment. That felt like it was a nice, like, twist on the playful banter she'd been having with us thus far. Just sort of I wish I hadn't had an audience for that one.
Right. This made me think again, we talked about this last week, I think, but knowing that the first episode was originally the 8th, I was trying to think in my head how that works. I'm like, okay, the Daredevil one would have been first, then she probably would have done I should tell you my origin, ending it with then a similar, like, why are you still here, and go to the gala. That's what I'm guessing would have happened.
That line where she said that Luke was making her dress for the gala did feel a little ADR.
Oh, it was very ADR.
I was like, oh, this is definitely an episode that was a different place in the series.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a little break before that. So, yeah. I love awkward ADR, by the way.
I love it when they don't sound like they're even in the same room as each other. Yeah. But he's making my dress for the gala. Yeah, absolutely. You definitely said that the first time too.
On set, that's exactly what she said. So let's do some AMA in a moment. But first, we got all sorts of stuff coming up. Bailey, what do we have coming up on Twitch?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked, Eric. We have such a busy day on Twitch today. At 1 p.m. Pacific time, which is in just an hour and a half, a crisp 90 minutes. Let's see how fast I can eat lunch. We're going to be watching and live reacting to the Mario movie Nintendo Direct. And then slightly less scary at 3 p.m., we're going to be playing Until Dawn. So I'm pretty excited. That's all happening on twitch.tv/fandom. And then tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, same channel, we're going to be watching along to the new episode of Rings of Power. Anyone who's been keeping up with that show knows how exciting last week's was. And we have a running list of people that we think are Sauron, including my co-streamer Emma. So we'll see if she finally reveals herself
Oh,
to be
you
the
think
big
Emma
bad that she
is
knows.
Sauron? Okay.
Someone in the chat said that. I keep saying it's the guy who keeps going like, no, don't send me back to the Southlands, but that's just my theory because I think it would be very dramatic.
Kim, quickly, who do you think is Sauron?
I mean, I've always thought it was Halbrand, who
Yes.
is the same guy you're talking about.
Yes, exactly. Because dramatically, wouldn't that make the most sense if the guy who's been like flirting with Galadriel the whole time turned out? Plus, he's king of what we now know as Mordor. Anyway, sorry everyone. Back to this.
He's got to get Elf on side, and he's got Galadriel on side, so it makes sense.
We know Sauron was like, Galadriel's the only one who can beat me in a fist fight or whatever it was he said. It would make sense if it was someone who knew her.
All right.
This is now Lord of the Rings review.
But wait, there's more. Because the MCU rests for no one. Kim and I will be on this very channel. Won't be live, but you should look later today for our review of Werewolf by Night, which is debuting this weekend on Disney+. Woo, will be dressed very similar, maybe exactly like we're dressed right now, talking about that. And
Kim,
then
do a costume change to make Eric look bad.
That's right.
It would be funny.
Okay.
I bet.
Luke.
Make a new cocktail as well.
Yes. Oh, I'm rooting for this. I love this.
House of the Dragon. We're going to do a finale chat in a couple weeks when that happens. There's also going to be an honest trailer commentaries for House of the Dragon. And then next week, yes, there'll be more Andor conversations on Wednesday. Someone will be subbing for me because I'll be on a boat. And then I'll be missing the She-Hulk finale conversation because I'll be on a boat. I'm on a cruise.
I think they call it a ship, Eric.
A ship. But it's more fun to say on a boat.
I know. It's fun and it annoys them too.
Yes. So maybe I'll email you if I'm able, if I can actually watch the She-Hulk finale on the boat.
Skype in from the high seas.
I'm not gonna Skype in. I don't think that's gonna work. But maybe I'll be like, liked it, loved it, hated it.
I don't know. We've
We'll
got
see.
some tech wizards on our side. We can make it happen.
Live from sea. That'd be amazing. So look for all of that. Let's do some AMA here. Let's see. Zaylor asks, what is the insurance situation if your car and/or parking lot gets destroyed in a superhero fight? I mean, I think we agree. We want to know the answer to that, right?
I mean, I do think that a lot of things have like act of God things built into it, and surely if you live in a superhero land, natural disasters, superhero destruction, all kind of has to be like lumped in the same category, doesn't it?
I mean, it's been a lot of years of superheroes, so you'd think that they'd have...
Yeah, by now they must have implemented some legalese in the insurance community.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll dig in on that some more.
Need that clarifying. That's important.
It happens so much, right? It's
It
like...
must happen all the time. They've developed government departments about it. Surely, like, Allstate was like, and can we add a clause here? We'll just charge an extra $10 a month.
It's just weird because, again, when damage control was introduced at the beginning of Spider-Man Homecoming, they were dealing with all the rubble in the Battle of New York, and so it seemed like they were more like the cleanup guys, but now they're just like busted down teenage superheroes doors. So things have changed for old damage control.
I think if your car gets tossed by She-Hulk, the government doesn't have to pay for it, but they should.
Act of She-Hulk should be covered. Matt and Valinsky asks, I don't know if you guys saw this to have a reaction to this. Thoughts on Kermit being in the leapfrog spot? That was the very funny promo they put out yesterday that was messing with audiences saying, we know you've been waiting for him, and it was all about leapfrog, showing auditions for leapfrog. Did you guys see that?
I didn't see that.
No.
That was so funny.
It was very funny. It was like Tatiana Maslany, Mark Ruffalo, and I'm forgetting Ginger Gonzalo. I don't know if I'm saying the last name right. All doing like mock auditions for Leapfrog, but it ended with Kermit the Frog auditioning for Leapfrog.
And he didn't get it.
Didn't get it.
This is a tough town.
Matt Valinsky, I would say, look, we live in a world where a small group of corporations own all the stuff we love, so why not put Kermit into a She-Hulk promo for Leapfrog? There was Chucky was in, like, they did a mock The Voice. It was like, what if Chucky was a good judge on The Voice image because it's all NBC Universal?
I love finding out what companies are under the
right?
same umbrella.
That's how you find it out. That's how you find it out. It's like, why would Chucky be in a Voice ad? Oh, NBC Universal.
It's like how every ABC show has the requisite episode where they go to Disneyland or Disney World.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Home Economics just did theirs. So.
I want to watch that. It's such a great tradition. We're all going to go there. I don't know. This one seems aimed at UK people, but I don't know how much you would care about this, Kim, but I'm still going to say it just in case. Ranger City Update Channel says, I was distracted by Leapfrog looking like Man City striker Erling Haaland. None of these things mean anything to me, but you're laughing like it means something.
Yeah, Kim knows what's up. Kim, is that a thing?
Yeah, well, he does.
Okay, there you go.
I didn't think it at the time, but
looking it up.
now I do. Thanks, Ranger City Update Channel.
Yes.
I'm Googling it.
I loved seeing you break into that grid because I was like, oh, she totally knows what this means. Joe Ellis asked a question that I understand.
Oh my God, he does.
Oh, he does. Yeah. All right, we're all on board. Ranger City Update Channel. Joe Ellis asks, and this is understandable as we go into the finale, plus she's meeting all these characters. How do you see She-Hulk fitting into the wider MCU successfully? What do you think, Kim? I mean, because we do assume she'll be popping up in some other movies and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think she'll integrate just fine. There's a long history of comedy in the MCU, so she'll fit in with her quips. And as far as breaking the fourth wall goes, I mean, sometimes she'll do it, sometimes she won't, I expect. And I imagine it's going to work very humorously alongside Deadpool one day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
What do you think, Bailey?
I think she'll probably be used sparingly for CGI reasons, but I think that wherever she does pop up, I'll be happy to see her.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be fun, and I think, Kim, what you said is true, that it's like they can, even in the comics, like, she doesn't always break the fourth wall, and when she's running around with the Avengers, she tends not to, but I also think with Deadpool also being there, they'll have some fun with the fact that sometimes these people turn away and talk to someone.
Yeah, he's gonna need someone to talk to after they hilariously kill Wolverine off in the first 5 minutes of the movie. So
there you go.
Calling it now, everybody. He's gonna do a musical number and then bite the dust.
Now, Loco Yokel, I never, it's hard to understand tone in text only. So I'm like, this could be a sarcastic statement, or it could be just a true statement. Either works, because Loco Yoko says, finally got what we've been waiting all season for, someone mentioning the Sokovia Accords. Been waiting. Although I did that tweet, I wasn't waiting all season for She-Hulk to do it. But it made a show that is about superhero law, it did seem like this is when you mention it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had to come up eventually.
You do it.
Yeah, it fits well into this show, and I'm glad it was done in a brief comment, throwaway line almost, and we know now, and that's that.
They're the only good lawyer in the MCU. Jen, I'm so sorry. Jen, I just wish you were a better lawyer.
Better call Matt. Dan Gibbons says, I loved Matt explaining the difference between goons and henchmen. Kim, do you think he was pretty correct there with his assessment of how you differentiate?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'd ever thought about before, and I had lumped them in together like She-Hulk, but there is a difference, and I'm very thankful Matt Murdock for mansplaining it to me.
This one is funny from Ren Robinson. I thought Leapfrog was going to be the guy Jennifer's mom wanted to match her with. That would be a heel turn for Jen's mom, right?
Moms sometimes get tunnel vision when it comes to setting you up on dates or whatever, so I could see it. It could have been well-intentioned, but a misstep.
Right. He seems nice. He looks like the Man City striker. Maybe she's a big fan.
And we know he's got money.
That's right.
Quality.
Yes, exactly.
Although Jen already has an enormous house in Los Angeles. I think she's doing fine.
Mm-hmm, this is true. Kevin Wright writes, and I do enjoy, by the way, in general, we haven't really talked about this too much, but now the end credits kind of give you like scenes you didn't see a lot. Mm-hmm. Like we actually saw Nikki taking a picture of Matt's walk of shame, which I thought was funny. But Kevin Wright.
I love that he was carrying the shoes, by the way. That doesn't even make sense, but it was very funny to me.
It was great. Yeah. Maybe they're not comfortable if you wear too long.
That makes no sense, Eric.
Luke designed them badly.
You'd think, see, we had a whole episode about how he doesn't do that.
But Kevin Wright writes, the court rendering at the end implies that Leapfrog was bidding against Todd. So, like what? They're like-minded, douchey rich guys, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure that all of these moments are supposed to have actually happened.
Yeah.
some of it feels a little bit, like someone's imagining this. So yeah, I
I
don't.
choose to
I don't
believe it's
know.
all canon, Kim. I disagree.
But
No, it's all canon.
maybe he did. Maybe he did. Maybe he lost, and that's what he's so sore about.
He had to prove himself otherwise. Jet fuel in his boots.
Zeno Hour asked, this question is for Eric. Who is more hated, Todd or Sammy Guevara, who is a wrestler? In this week, I'll say Sammy, but that fluctuates with the whims and backstage news on wrestling. And let's see here. Anything else we should... Oh, yeah. Here, I'll end with Rainer City Update Channel asking us all, in honor of Leapfrog, who is the best movie frog?
Ooh, the best movie frog.
I mean, it's got to be Kermit, hasn't it? I know we've already mentioned him, but I love him. There's no frog that comes close to Kermit.
I love Kermit, but I don't know. I'm going Tiana on this one. She's got the pipes. She's got the restaurant.
Okay.
Love her though I do.
I really like beignets, and she makes great ones. What do you want from me?
It's true.
I'm very food motivated.
Everything you're saying is true,
As far as I know, Kermit doesn't eat.
but I gotta go with Kermit.
Okay.
I mean, he goes on dinner dates with Piggy, and Steve Martin waits on them.
But is Oprah Kermit's mom? I don't think so.
Nobody does it better. I'm going with Kermit. And those are our thoughts on She-Hulk, Episode 8. Be back here next week when I won't be, but these people will be here to talk about Episode 9, and we'll see how it all plays out. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Take care. See you next time.
See ya on Twitch. Bye.